This is a fraud.
It's a fraud.
President Trump won by a landslide. We are going to prove it.
I can prove it to you 18 different ways.
But there's no evidence of widespread voter fraud, and Giuliani provided no verified proof.
For viewers who've missed the shenanigans lately, Elizabeth and I are going to role play. I will play a neutral observer, and Elizabeth will play Rudy Giuliani. Rudy, I'd like you to tell me what shape this is.
It's a circle.
Everybody says that this is a square.
They're wrong. They're lying. If you take away the edges, it's a circle. So just erase them, Katie. Erase them off your whiteboard.
But the edges are part of the shape. You can't just erase them. They're a fact.
Look, the edges are a fraud. You can't count them. The edges are not legitimate. Just erase them.
Okay, everybody, in case you missed the metaphors here, the square represents the very clear outcome, the fact that Joe Biden won this election. And also, what's happening is bananas.
Trump won the election. He'll win the recount. He'll win in court.
Moving forward here at the White House, under the assumption that there will be a second Trump term.
We keep hearing the drumbeat of where is the evidence? Right here, Sean.
I have 3 binders. These are court filings and affidavits.
We have 100 more of these. I can't show them to you.
And we think we will win because we have so much evidence, so much proof.
There is no evidence that any voting system deleted or lost votes.
Look, the Trump campaign has lost 32 of 34 lawsuits that they filed since the election. And Donald Trump tried an outrageous stunt on Friday when he invited Michigan lawmakers to the White House to try to pressure them to give him the electoral votes, even though Joe Biden won the state by 154,000 votes.
And here in Michigan, it was a 154,000 vote margin. And no one has come up with any evidence of fraud or abuse.
And in Georgia, after a hand recount confirmed Biden's win, the Trump team requested another recount even after the Republican Secretary of State certified the results.
I'm a passionate conservative, and as I've said before, I'm a proud Trump supporter. As Secretary of State, I believe that the numbers that we have presented today are correct.
Meanwhile, my colleagues in the Senate are refusing to call the square a square.
Until the Electoral College votes, anyone who's running for office can exhaust concern.
In fact, he may not have been defeated at all.
I tell you, I think President Trump has every right to demand that every legal vote be counted.
Trump has not lost. Do not concede, Mr. President. Fight hard.
At the same time, some Republicans are expressing frustration with his refusal to accept defeat.
So what I did is got out my whiteboard and broke it down, naming names. Those who are standing up for democracy, those who are completely repeating Trump's BS, and those who are wishy-washy going back and forth. It's hard to measure those slippery ones. One Republican even said, what's the downside of humoring Trump for a little bit? Elizabeth, can you think of any downside?
Sure. I can think of one, like undermining the foundation of our democracy. Republicans are actively trying to erase votes. They're targeting their hoax lawsuits on districts that are heavily Democratic and populated by people of color. And they're trying to erase their votes and their voices.
And it's only done in black communities. Where was it done? In Detroit, in Wayne County. It's being done in black cities across the country. We're not going to let them steal the election right before our eyes. That's really what folk want to do.
Look, I come from a witnessing tradition that says when you see something that is wrong, you're called on to speak out. We've got 250,000 Americans dead from a pandemic. Cases are rising. We are in a crisis. His anti-democratic actions are a stain, not just on the United States, but on democracy movements around the world.
And any Republican leader who doesn't speak out is also a stain. And we should never forget what side they chose in this moment of crisis for our nation.